Happy Wednesday, July 22nd. Hey Matt, it's been forever since I've been down here in the studio and it feels really good. It's quiet. Today's been a pretty quiet day, which has actually been nice. I loved your last video, precision, openness. I really like this kind of tie between the conversation we've been having between openness, subjectivity, objectivity, values. They're really good, meaningful, insightful conversations to have. And I think what's great is they transcend business. They certainly transcend the art business or the makeup business that we're in. And they hit at a really core human level, which at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for, right? Is more meaning, adding more value, and having more fulfillment. And I think focusing on these types of topics, while we're talking about them from an art perspective or from an art business perspective, it transcends all that. And that's really important because, as we've said before, for me at least, what being involved in the arts and in art business has taught me, and what it's illuminated for me, is the deeper connection between human beings and I think what brings real fulfillment to people's lives. So art has helped me tap into that deeper sense, that deeper awareness of myself and of others, but I don't think you have to be in the arts to understand that. And I think a lot of people can come to these conclusions in other ways. I think the beautiful thing about being in the arts or being in a creative industry or a creative state on a regular basis is we can tap into that deeper sense of awareness because we're going to a state of openness and creativity on a regular basis. Now, that being said, balancing that with objectivity, with logic, with groundedness, with precision, as you say, is super, super important. Your question to me, do I find myself more in the open state or the precision state? Well, I think we know the answer to that. I am for sure more in the open state. Precision is an aspect I have to really work on because my mind is always in this open, or more often than not, in this open kind of free-flowing state, which is why for me, creativity really just tends to flow on a regular basis. So getting to the precision point just takes more effort on my part, more focus on my part. And as I get older, I recognize how important that is as well. As we talked about yesterday, it is the yin-yang principle, right? All of us need to find that balance. Now, to find that balance, it comes down to consistently and regularly going within to become more aware of ourselves, auditing ourselves, taking accountability for the things that we're strong at and the things we're not strong at. And then setting goals to work on the areas we're weak. So if I know precision is an area of weakness for me, I have to be more focused. I have to double down on the times that I do focus or need precision. We've talked about this a lot. The challenge, I think, for both you and I, because we fall to one spectrum or the other, right? You're more precision, I'm more open, is when we need to turn the other side on. I notice for sure when I'm having a meeting with the team, or if I'm talking specifically to one person in the team, there is a time for openness, but there are times that I need to be much more precise to ensure that what I'm saying is understood and asking the questions of that team member to make sure that what I'm saying has been heard and has been kind of absorbed, right? Because my challenge has always been, because I'm open, kind of saying what I need or asking or letting them know here's what needs to be done, but then not following up with the right questions to make sure they understood me. And so then that can lead to frustration because either they didn't understand me and I didn't make sure that they did, which is my responsibility, and then something doesn't get accomplished the way it should have been, or there's just a general frustration that might arise because the message was unclear. Now, one of the things that's helped me over the years is after I give an instruction or say something to a team member is then asking them to repeat what I said to make sure we're on the same page. So something like, here's the instructions. Now, do you mind just repeating what you heard so I can make sure we're on the same page before we move forward? And what that does is it allows them to express themselves and express what they heard, and then also gives me the opportunity to either correct or to say, yes, that's exactly what I meant, and then be able to both move forward confidently with the task. On the flip side, there's a time for being open. There's a time when somebody needs to just feel heard without any rebuttal, without any response, and they just need to be listened to. And I really feel that's where openness is a huge positive. And it's not just a team member, right? This goes across the board with any relationship. Sometimes people just want to be listened to and they don't want anything said in return. Now, Crystal and I talk about that regularly. There's times I will ask her, do you want a response or do you just need to be heard tonight? And if that's the case, then she just needs to get off her chest what she needs to get off her chest and she's not necessarily looking for me to give any kind of rebuttal or response or opinion. And I think asking those questions is really important too, because then it allows the person you're communicating with to let you know that, hey, I don't want your opinion. I don't want anything in response. Now, the hard thing is I think sometimes if I'm in a precision mode, then I'm in a problem-solving mode or a logical mode, and I might give that response without it being requested. And so the more I ask the question, what do you need from me in this conversation, the more I can better serve the person I'm having a conversation with. What do you think of that, Matt? What's your feelings on that? Now, I think this is an absolutely fantastic conversation, and obviously I could talk about it for the next 20 minutes. But I think I made my point. I think for the sake of time, kind of getting to the core of these discussions with precision allows us to kind of keep the conversation flowing, and it also allows those of you who are watching to digest it really easily. What do you think? Do you think that these kind of conversations are helpful for you in your personal life and in your business life? If so, leave a comment. We'd love to know how it resonates with you. Now, Matt, quick question for you. Do you find that your precise nature sometimes prevents you from being open, or that you have to work harder to be open? And then in that instance, when you're having a conversation with someone, do you find it more of a challenge sometimes to just give them the space to communicate without responding? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. As always, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button if you haven't. We'd love if you'd consider subscribing. And we will definitely see you on the next one.